Hello, beauties. Bear with me, y'all. I do not like being vulnerable, but this message is for those that have been working with this energy, with all of the retrogrades, and we now have the 8/8 portal coming up. That energy is already activated. For my empaths, I know you already are feeling this energy. These retrogrades are uniquely divine to help all of that healing work that you have been doing, all of those emotions, the trauma, different situations that you have experienced, for it to all come to the surface. And this will be the final purge, the final release, if you allow the energies to come up and come through you. So recently, one of the former principals that I work with had a meeting for all of the old Cochran family. And I was excited to go because that was one of the most rewarding experiences that I ever went through for my own inner child healing. So one of the things that came up was me sharing with her how my old 6th grade teacher basically humiliated me and rejected me for the remainder of her class. So when it was time for her class, I had to go sit in the office. And that was not just for one day, for 1 week. She did me like that for the entire duration of her class. And it blew me away because I was sitting amongst a group of students that were heckling her, talking about her. She had this big greasy curl that always looked thirsty. She wore these really tight clothing, and she was a large woman, and the pants just looked like they was gonna bust up off of her. And so they were talking about her. I was sitting with this group. However, I was saying absolutely nothing. I did laugh because those pants was tight. They was so tight that, y'all, they was high waters on her. But instead of getting with the students that were talking about her, she targeted me. And she proceeded to tell me how I was a joke, and that I was a clown, and I would never be nothing other than a clown. And so many years later, I ran into this woman in the grocery store, and she noticed me. And she walked up on me, and I had my children with me, and they were really young. And one thing about me, I do believe in protecting kids, so I don't do drama in front of kids. So she stopped me and she said, "Oh, I remember you. You were one of my former students." And I said, "Come on, y'all." And I walked my kids on off, and we got on up through. So I ran into her again a few years later. And she was a sub at the building that I worked at. And when she saw me going down the hall with my class, she stopped me. She stopped her class. And she said, "Oh, everyone, look. I am just so proud of this young woman right here. This was one of my former students." And y'all, once again, I love kids. I was not going to act out in front of these children. So once again, she got to speak her little bit, and we went on. Well, once the class was inside the cafeteria, I'm heated, and I needed a moment to just vent So I went to the office and I sat down with the prayer warrior of the building. And I told her what was bothering me and how I was triggered and really wanted to slap this bitch. And she prayed over me, and I went on back, proceeded with my day. And then later at the end of the day, she said, "Miss Hayes, come here. You know that woman you was telling me about got terribly sick today. She was throwing up and shitting on herself at the same time." Now, as I really sat back and I thought about it, I thought, well, really, the only way this woman could have really recognized me, because it's been many, many years. She was like, it was my 8th grade teacher, 8th grade science. So I'm thinking, like, how could she even recognize me? You know why she recognized me? She recognized me because of guilt and shame, because she was too fearful to address the people that were actually attacking her. So she decided to go with who she presumed would be the weakest in the bunch. I know that hell on her heart, that guilt and that shame, was her karma. But I recognized that my healing came from all of the kids that I protected while I worked for the school board, because I fought so many battles for kids. A lot of those battles was against their own parents, because it is unbelievable how parents can have children that look like them and probably be behaving like them, yet they neglect them, they abuse them. So I'm sharing this for my healing, but I'm also sharing this at the perfect time, because school is about to begin. And for some people, depending on where you live, school has already begun. But when your kids come to you and they tell you that they are being mistreated by an adult, just because they have a title does not mean that that person is telling the truth. So pay attention to your babies and don't be afraid to fight for them. Ask for a meeting with the principal and sit that teacher down so that you can look that teacher in the eye and feel the energy that's coming from them, so that you know who's speaking the truth. Because my mom knew I was telling the truth when I told her that. She sat, she listened to everything that I had to say, but when she went and met with the school teacher, she didn't have my back. See, she was very passive aggressive and she just wanted to blow over. So that teacher got away with isolating me. So I hope whoever needed to hear this, that may come across this type of situation, does something about it. But also just know that all of these retrogrades is bringing up all of these energies for you to sit with it, for you to dissect it, and allow the healing to fully take place. If it's too much, that's okay. You still have more time. But if you're ready, use this energy to allow it to come up and come through. Y'all have a beautiful day. Have a blessed day. And stay strong, because these retrogrades is kicking ass right now. But it is for our highest good. So remember that. It is for our highest good. Everything is always working out. And is. Bye, y'all.